Shalom everybody, Akiva Gersh here on behalf of Israel 365, and this is a video I wish I did not have to share. I'm in the Israeli community of Tel Menashe, where yesterday a woman, 52 years old, mother of 6, Esther Horgan, just around the corner from where I stand, left her house to go out for a jog, to get some fresh air, to get some exercise, to have a few moments to herself, and she never came back. And her family, obviously concerned, notified of the security forces, and together with residents of Tel Menashe, they went looking for her all throughout the night, hours and hours of searching, and finally in the early hours of this morning they found her body outside the community here, dead, most likely murdered in a terror attack. Now Esther, as I said, leaves behind 6 children. She lives here in Tel Menashe. She's originally from France. She uprooted her life to come back to the land of Israel, to take part in the historic and the miraculous return of the Jewish people to their homeland, to live here in this community, Tel Menashe, a community filled with Jews that love the land of Israel, love the Torah of Israel, love the people of Israel. You can see the flag behind me, such a symbol for the people here and their passion for their history, for their present, and also for their future. And she came back home. And even though we're living in incredible times, historic and miraculous times, where the Jewish people have returned home and they're shining their light into the world from this land, we know that we're still dealing with darkness. We're still dealing with forces of darkness that are fighting against our being here. And Esther Horgan, unfortunately, is the latest victim, the latest sacrifice in this fight from the side of evil, from the side of darkness. This community is named after the region, Menashe. Right? Tel Menashe means the dew of Menashe, and this is the region of Menashe. Going back to biblical times, this is where the tribe of Menashe lived in biblical times. And we know on Friday nights, parents blessed their children to be like Ephraim and Menashe. Right? And now her 6 children. Her 6 children will never hear that blessing from her again. You know, just last week we had Chanukah. We had Chanukah, which is the festival of light, which recognizes the darkness in the world for all of humanity, but specifically for the Jewish people, both historically and still today. And historically, the story of Chanukah was all about rising up against that darkness and shining our light so bright that the darkness dissipates. Just a few nights ago, my family and I, and Jews all around the world, and Jews all over Israel, we lit the menorah. We lit the Chanukah menorah, and we had 8 lights shining bright. And there was this incredible moment where we brought the maximum amount of light into the world. And just a few days later, Esther Horgan from this community is murdered. Why? For being a Jew. For being a Jew that lives in the land of Israel. For being a Jew that returns to the land of Israel, her ancestral homeland. And now we're confronting that darkness once again, just a few days after Hanukkah. But I believe our response must be the same. Our response must be in line with the lesson of Hanukkah, that whenever darkness appears, and for whatever reason it keeps on appearing, we must do our best to shine our light and keep shining our light and not shy away, not to give in and not to give up in the face of darkness, but to keep shining our light. And our light will make that darkness go away forever. And in this moment for Esther's family, right, specifically her 6 children, we can shine our light by helping them out, by giving what we can, by opening up our hearts and giving to her family, so that they know, first of all, that people all over the world love them and are thinking about them and are sending them their prayers and their healing thoughts. And also that they should get by, right? Financially, physically, that they should have the means to get through this trying time and into the future as well. So I share with you this story from her community, again, just around the corner from where she lived and where she left her house yesterday for the very last time. And I ask you to do what you can to give to her family, to give to her 6 children, and to increase the light in the face of this darkness. All the best. Blessings from the land of Israel.